Well, interesting news coming out of the Leeds United camp, everybody. Adam Pope delivering some interesting news as of about 19 minutes ago, and I just had to come on here and talk about it. Again, it's not going to be a big one. We're live tonight. We've been live this morning, so check out those shows if you fancy a bit of listening. But we're going to have to get into just a quick update regarding what Pope said. Now, Adam Pope, as of around 19-20 minutes ago, has said that Leeds United are expecting a very quiet window, and the outgoing of Joe Gelhardt will determine on what's happened with Patrick Bamford. Bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. Joe, for me, starting off, requires a move. He needs a move for his career. I don't really see how, when the manager hasn't utilised Joe Gelhardt whatsoever in any capacity, I don't think the manager knows really where Joe Gelhardt plays, his best position. It's when he's come on for Leeds in periods this season, it's been left wing, it's been almost central midfield, it's been up top for really small margins. I don't think it should depend on that, to be honest, because it doesn't feel like Joe Gelhardt is insurance whatsoever, especially when you've seen academy products come on ahead of him this season in the attacking phases, Chambers, etc. I just feel like right now it's the right move for Joe Gelhardt, and Hull City, it feels perfect for him. And I'm just confused as to why maybe Leeds are thinking, well, we'll wait and see what happens with Patrick Bamford's hamstring. It just, when Joe's not featuring whatsoever, it doesn't make any sense to me. No sense to me whatsoever. But the main bit of news when you're looking at this is the fact that, Pope is tweeting and saying that they expect a really quiet window, which, guys, newsbreaker, and we all knew this anyway, it means the guy between the sticks will remain between the sticks. I think it's abundantly clear, isn't it? I don't think we're going to see anything when it comes to movement with Illan Meslier. There was rumours earlier on that apparently we're looking at River Plate starting goalkeeper, and Leeds have grown tired of Illan Meslier. But I've told you guys before, and I know this, it's not fact as such, obviously, but you get snippets on the channel, quite luckily, in that aspect, and the goalkeeping staff at Leeds really rate him. They really rate Illan Meslier, and they believe that he's got the right attributes to be a top goalkeeper, from what I understand. So it's one of those again where we're coming back to that conundrum again of Leeds United's recruitment and us feeling like that push on. It's not necessarily that we need a 10 or a 9, in my opinion, we don't. And we're still getting a lot of, the fan base talking about Berisha, who we spoke about this morning, Buendia and Louis Barry, and I think I've spoken about these players on the rumour mill before, but don't get it twisted, it is the rumour mill. We have to speak about these things. But when I'm talking about the consolidation mill, of which we need to consolidate in certain positions, we all know this, we don't have to go on the rhetoric and speak on and on and on about it, and we'll be getting into it tonight. But Popey's saying they're going to have a very quiet window instigates to me that there's going to be no movement when it comes to the goalkeeper, and they're going to let it happen, even though the data-led people, even though the manager has got it wrong with him in terms of taking him out at critical points this season, of which we've spoken about on the channel previously. So now we're looking at a scenario where likely I'm giving sort of Daniel Farke a little bit of a chance when it comes to the goalkeeper, and I'm giving him that trust in terms of a fan, and I'm sure you guys are as well, that if they're looking at an extremely quiet window, we've got to have Hull City's goalkeeper of the year 22-23 in between the sticks. As we mentioned several times, Caldalo hasn't been exceptional when he's played for Leeds United, but over a long period of time he's proven that when he starts for a club he's pretty decent, and he doesn't make half as many mistakes as our goalkeeper right now. So yeah, with the 16 goals that Leeds United have let in, there's been a large portion of them that you can genuinely look at Illan Meslier and say, So look, we've gone over this a fair few times on the channel, but I am quite alarmed by this. I'm quite alarmed that we're not doing anything, because I don't trust that the manager, quite frankly, is going to go with Caldalo. So if he doesn't then go with Caldalo, well, there's one option, isn't there? There's one option. And when on the minus the fan base, I've never seen the fan base act like this. I've never seen it. And you'll just get the loyalist backers of Farke, who for me don't actually have their own opinion. And it's quite a damning thing for me to say that. But I think people maybe within the fan base, and it's fine, it's okay. But I'd encourage you to have your own thought process with it, not just consistently have this opinion based on whatever Daniel Farke does, you know? And that's not me hammering the manager, but I am going to start. I'll definitely have a few opinions if we see this again. And look, we did a positive stream this morning. Of course, we did a positive stream, and look at where we are in the table, and that will continue. And Farke's done a decent job so far. We need to get over the line, and then I'll say he's done a good job. Right now, he's done a decent job. But I cannot understand for the life of me why this manager would continue to hurt himself by putting Meslier in between the sticks. I think Illan needs a bit of a time on the sideline as well. And quite weirdly, the only manager who's actually recognised this immediately is Sam Allardyce and dropped the guy. And actually, when asked on his Tippy Tappy podcast, I think it was, why he dropped Meslier, and he just went, well, he's not good enough. He's not good enough. And look, managers have come in consequently and put Meslier in there. Of course they have. But I don't think he's given them anything back, and I don't think he's currently giving Daniel Farke anything back. So it's strange that we're not doing any activity, being data people in the 49ers. I thought this would be an obvious thing. Evidently not. So if it's not, then we're looking, hopefully, the manager is now going to start playing Karl Darlow, because that's what Karl Darlow was brought in for. And then you've got Illan Meslier as the number 2. Quite simple. And I think that's how it's got to go from now on. So we'll have to wait and see. The very quiet window from Popey, I thought I had to come on here and talk about it because it has got my ears pricked. I'm a little bit alarmed by it as a Leeds fan, because I've watched more of Illan Meslier than the 49ers and Daniel Farke has done as my time as a Leeds United fan. And we want the best objective for our club, which is Premier League football. We know Illan Meslier is not the long-term option, so why not just patch the squad up right now and go for another short-term option? Who there is actually an argument that Karl Darlow will be with us longer now than Illan Meslier. And the reason behind that is if Leeds get to the Premier League, he's just depth, isn't he? And Illan Meslier clearly doesn't see himself as a depth option. As we saw last season, he sees himself as the number 1 at any club, even when we're talking about Chelsea. So let me know what you think in the comment section below, everybody. We're going to be getting into this with Benjamin Bloom. I'm really interested to hear what a neutral thinks about this, because yeah, it just feels right now that from a Leeds United standpoint, we've all kind of come together with this, and we're looking at it and we're thinking it's going to cost us promotion. I'm really shocked if this is the line that the Niners are going with, and it's the line that Farke is going with, which he's come out and said, which is staggering when he called him the best keeper in the division last season. And other fans as well, by the way, other people who were aware of, came out and said he was the best keeper in the division last season. It's mental for me that we're not looking to do something, but I'm expecting now Karl Darlow, Harrogate and Sheffield Wednesday. And I'm not going to be there. And if Karl Darlow makes a mistake, I'm not going to be there going, oh my goodness, look, Karl Darlow's made a mistake, ha ha ha. I'm going to be looking at Karl Darlow and thinking, well, you know, even if you do make a mistake, that means we have to go out and get another goalkeeper, doesn't it? Or we have to stick with him, like we have done with Illan Meslier, and go through the mistakes until we get a little bit of positivity through it. But with regards to the Frenchman, he's had enough minutes, he's had enough time. It's game over for me. It's time to go. And if it's not time to go, it's time to be second. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, everyone. I'll see you tonight.